female engineers are endangered species. Let me put it that way in Formula One.
All over the world, not just in Formula One.
All over the world.
Although,
So
but let me go on record: they're endangered species because of cultural issues, not because of
yes,
competency. Go ahead. Go
yes,
ahead.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I agree with you. So basically, she was appointed a graduate of automotive engineering from a university in Munich. She has rose through the ranks and done tremendously well. I feel she's going to help us in so many ways. She has special expertise for aerodynamic optimization. You know,
Yeah.
she did part of her thesis in computational fluid dynamics. So in terms of wind tunnel analysis and stuffs like that, helping them to maximize downforce, minimize drag coefficients, she's going to be very, very useful to the engineering
Yeah.
team in Haas.
Yeah. And I hear that she has a background in sim, and there's like a lot of this sim thing, not just drivers, but a lot of people are fine have they've been a lot of people who have engineering backgrounds have been doing the programs for the sims
Yeah.
and making the you know making the models for them and then correlating them to the real world. So this is a lot of brainy stuff, and we all know that everybody, no matter whether you're black or female or male or British, which is the preferred F1 nationality, whether you're British or you're Indian, um, to get into F1 as an engineer means that you're a genius. So what we want to see in F1 is a little bit more diversity. And when I say diversity, I'm not only talking about race and gender, but nationality. Because going back as far as I forgot the guy's name, but he was one of the engineers for Red Bull. He's American kid. He was young, 19. He's a genius. He said that his family and his friends told him, don't bother trying to get a job in F1 because if you're not British or Dutch, or I think it's British mostly, that is not almost 90% British engineers. That's why you see a lot of the teams are based in England. So
Yeah.
there's also been that nationalistic skew in which F1 was seen as a sport for the British. Most of their heroes are British. A few guys are German, like Schumacher. But what we see, starting with when Hamilton came, is that now F1 is becoming more of an international sport. You've got Hamilton. Then there's another kid. I forgot his name. Is a black kid for Mercedes, who's in the Mercedes Academy. He's 13 years old. Is doing well. Then there's Arvin Lindblad, who supposedly may be the next Verstappen. Arvin Lindblad is with Red Bull Junior program, and then you've got Hajar. I think Hajar is partly Turkish or something. So the sport is big, and we need more representation because it's a global sport. We don't just want that British bias, and we also need to clean up FIA. But we'll talk about that on another day. So yes, so she's going to be the race engineer for Ocon. Yeah. So she's going to help him with strategy and things like that, and link him with the team and deal with, like you said, troubleshooting with things like what his setup should be, what the downforce should be based on his needs.
Mhm.
And Komatsu, who himself, so I think Komatsu's from Japan and has had him as the team principal. So what you're seeing is a lot of diversity in this team. Uh, Komatsu has said that she works very hard and she fits the temperament with Ocon, that they're both sort of quiet people, but they like to stick to problems and go in depth. So that's going to be a good team because Ocon gives good feedback along with he and who's his teammate, Gasly. They did a very good job with Sauber. Now they've also got Karen Kridlich, who's going to be on the team, and she's going to be the head of strategy. So that's a very important thing because that's during the race she gets to make the decisions as to whether there should be team orders, whether there should be an undercut or overcut, what the tires should be, and everything else. And where so this is very important, and I think it's actually a more important position. But it's good to see that overall has an international flavor. You know, they're an American team. They're partly based in the U.S. They have factories in Europe also. I think they have one in Branbury also, and they have a diverse team. And we can be sure when they're hiring people, that's not what they're aiming for. They're hiring based on merit. And one of the arguments I'm making is that it seems like F1 wasn't working by merit when it was the old British boys club. If you weren't British, they don't want you, and they still want their champions to be British, which is why they're focusing on Norris, and some of them don't like Verstappen. What are your thoughts in general? Yeah.
Yeah, another important thing is this appointment is a strategic one, knowing fully
Yeah.
well that in 2026, we're going to be changing powertrains. She has a lot of experience in Renault on powertrain systems and energy deployment. So it's going to help optimize
You're
the
talking about Mueller, right?
yes,
Yeah.
I'm talking about Mueller. So it's going to help in
How old is she,
optimizing.
man? Damn. How old is this woman, man? Is she in her 20s? Go ahead, go ahead. I'm just saying that this smart lady, and she has a very good
Very,
position
very,
at a
very
young
good.
age, man.
She has a
I'm
very good,
jealous. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I cut in front of you. Continue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so she's
Yeah.
going to help optimize the motor generator unit kinetic power system, which is going to help them when everything is revamped in 2026. She also has
Yeah.
experience in tire deck. She does a bit of tire degradation modeling and suspension kinematics, and this will help her a lot. Ability to set the dampers, anti-roll bars, and stuff like that. She's quite vast. And then when it comes to telemetry and real-time data acquisition, she's also very, very good. So she's going to bring a lot of technology and data-driven kind of engineering into the Haas team. So I think it's a
Yeah.
win. Is a win for
Yeah,
Haas.
I mean, we saw what Haas did last year by surprising us because they had the best straight line speed, but everybody would say, okay, once they get on the corners, it's over, especially the slow speed corners. But close to the end of the year, they were also doing well on the high speed corners, and they were beginning to come in the top six, top seven during qualifiers. And you can't do well in qualifiers off of only straight line speed. You also have to have a good balance. So this is a team that is seems like they have a very good platform. They're not where McLaren is yet platform wise, but I'm not exaggerating. Within two years, they're going to be right up there with the other teams, and they're going to be challenging for top five. Yeah. What are your thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. They should be challenging for top five without a shadow of
Within
doubt.
about, I'll give them 3 or 4 years. They have a
Yes,
shot for doing
I,
it.
I think in a
And
way
next year they can come seventh or
they're
sixth.
like
They
building
can come
for the
sixth next year.
future. Yes, yes, because
Yeah,
most
yeah,
of the decisions they are taking now is like just putting pawns in places, like a starting a chess game with future
yeah,
strategy, to develop and to improve on their previous season. If they can continue to improve year on year, then there can
yeah,
be a lot of improvement. And this lady's acquisition is going to really help them. She also helps
yeah,
in driver feedback. If she can forge a relationship with their drivers, especially Esteban Ocon,
yeah,
especially driving style, helping her enhancing her overall performance, work on things like steering rack calibration, throttle
yeah.
mapping, and stuff like that is
You
going to
see,
help
guys
a
like
lot.
Ocon, I'm not
Yes,
trying to. I'm just going to speak. Guys like Ocon and Vettel, they can do
yeah,
this without a a race engineer. They could, but so I'm not trying to down what she's doing. I'm downing. I'm not downing. If I'm downing what she's doing, it's all race engineers. But certain drivers don't need them. But I will argue that actually every driver does need them, but some need them more than others. I think Lewis Hamilton needs one. But
yeah,
the point I'm
sure.
making about Ocon is that it's always better to have two heads than one head. So Ocon
Yeah, sure.
knows what he wants to do race wise, and he should still take charge. But she has to give him insight to data and things which he may not know because that's not his job. His job is to drive and give feedback about the car. Her job is to look at the data and look at everything and give him ultimately consult. And ultimately, it's the race strategist who has the final say for most part. But we all know that on teams like Red Bull, Verstappen has the final say, even about racing, or even George Russell. George Russell will be like, "Nah, I don't care what you guys say. I'm going to put on a hard tire." But the point I was
Sure,
trying to
sure.
get to is that
I
having her and
understand.
Ocon together, who are both very thoughtful, they're both very thoughtful and they're very rigorous. This is going to mean that he's going to have better performances as
Yeah,
well.
sure.
I forgot the name of the guy who's going to be Bierman's. It's going to be a guy, him who's going to be Bierman's race strategist too. But he's also been promoted. I think his name starts with a K.
Absolutely.
So there's been a lot of changes in Haas, and I'm excited for Haas. I'm also excited for F1. I'm excited that we have Chevrolet coming in 2 years, and we have American teams coming in because they bring in money and diversity. I'm glad
Yeah,
we have
sure.
Lewis Hamilton, and we have Hadja. Lewis Hamilton may be one of the only people of. Oh yeah, we have several drivers from Asia also. So it's good to see Yuki because F1 needs to become like football or like the Americans say, like soccer. We want to have
Yeah.
a galaxy of superstars. Okay, thank you. Take us out, Falabi. Yeah.
Okay, so it's been a wonderful show again, our Formula One show. Today we've been talking about the appointment of Laura Mueller, who is the new race engineer for us. Technical acumen.
I am jealous. So I want to be the engineer for. I want money. I want money. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, her focus on aerodynamics and powertrain efficiency will add a lot of value to the Haas team. And from myself and Mustafa, have a wonderful day.
Good one. That was a good man. That was a good one, right? It was to the
Yeah,
point too.
it
I like
was.
that. That was nice.
It
I
was.
was worried that we wouldn't
Absolutely.
have enough content. But we had to spin on the diversity, not just females. You know what I'm saying? The
Sure, sure,
diversity is
sure,
good for
sure.
everyone.
I
They
agree
just need
with
to get
you.
a Ben. I'll let you go, but they need to get rid of Ben Mohammed. You know, he's saying that if Verstappen curses, he could lose a month race,
No,
a
that's
month of racing.
ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
We'll
That
talk
is
about that on
ridiculous.
another day, though.
All right.
I know you're busy. I thought you were talking to somebody in the back.
Yeah.